Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another series review straight from FX Shogun. We have a full slate of hosts tonight to give you guys a non-spoiler, concise overview of this new up-and-coming season. It's coming out February the 27th in a mini-series format. I have here Ronan Unchained on deck. What's going on, Ronan?
This was good, dude. This was what a punch to the gut, to the brain. Like, I was never bored and can't wait to get into it. So happy I saw this.
Yeah, thank you for coming and thank you for your service. Busy. What's going on, bro?
I didn't know what I was getting into, but I'm happy. I am happy with what we got, man. This is Game of Shoguns. Like I'm ready, dude. There's a lot to
Game
talk
I like
about here,
that.
dude. This is fire. This is fire.
Yeah, me and Busy been cooking all day, so we got more to come for that. What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on, Vanessa?
This was fantastic. You've been getting me into random shows, and I think this might be my favorite one of all the shows I've watched so far. This is fantastic.
Even True
Mhm.
Detective? Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think so. I'm excited to watch the rest of the episodes.
Interesting. Last but not least, Ant Gold.
Oh my god.
Nah.
Ridiculous. This is a ridiculous
Oh,
person.
snap.
Deeply
So,
uncurious person.
you young folks might not know this, but this was a remake of an old show that I remember watching, and so I was excited to see this.
Were you watching live?
Yeah, back in the day, back in the
Damn.
1900s. But no, I'm happy to be here. This was a great 2 episodes. I think I've enjoyed this more than almost anything live action I've seen in a minute, I think.
Yeah, no, this was
Mhm.
amazing. We're gonna go and kind of just cap it off and just talk about it. But the biggest thing that I can say off rip was just how gorgeous it looked. Like some of the
Mhm.
shots, the imagery, the locations, like off rip when you first see the ship and them kind of coming onto the ship and then going and getting this framing to the actual land. How coordinated they were, the costume design, how this feels like we're actually there, but on a movie budget. I don't know if you guys can kind of talk towards how authentic it feels, but more than anything, how detailed oriented it is from a cultural standpoint and from a visual standpoint. Anybody want
Yes.
to talk about
So the one thing that I really admired was just right off the rip, we were getting shot after shot after shot. It was beautiful, and the scenery was of course amazing. And considering where this takes place, the fact that there's just so much land, but at the same time, like trying to explain this without saying too much. But at the end of the day, I mean, you got to show how empty things are when you're not showcasing your main characters, if that makes sense. So like some of the scaled shots were just so massive and just to let you know like I don't know, they just weren't messing around at the end of the day. I really don't know how to word it. I'm trying my best to word it, but I just can't find the words. There was just so many shots that really just left me in awe because of how
Mhm.
beautiful they were. Whether it was the ship, there was a part where we see this old ship sailing in. I mean, just different things like that where it was just I don't know. They nailed it. They nailed it for me. Cinematography wise, I don't know. They just did a really good job. Don't really have the words.
Nah,
I
anybody?
I like that there's a almost balance with the color grading, the color the costumes have, and how gritty and raw the locations can be, and how at the same time smooth, precise they are. I remember hearing Guillermo del Toro talking about how you can make something look either like eye candy or eye protein. How either something can help the characters uh, grow more when you watch them, or how it's just cool to look at and that's about it. And this, I think, does both and then some, where it's just like it's cool to watch, and yet you see the level of where the characters are in stature, how much stuff is taken care of, and how much for example, the outsider in this series, it comes from this gritty, raw, almost filthy world, and you come to how Japan is, and I love that combo. That combo was it popped, and yet it just no, I couldn't stop watching any frame we were at with.
Yeah, we could see everything. Everything lately is film dark. I can't see shit. I don't know what's going on. And I appreciate the fact that I could see everything. I was like, oh my God. So I appreciate it being well lit. Thank you appreciate that. I thought it was gorgeous, especially the water scenes where people were like, there was one scene where Duke couldn't get up, and it's disorienting. Anytime when there's water scenes, it's always disorienting for me. I don't like it, but I thought it was really beautifully done. And I don't know, I thought it was just gorgeous. But like for me personally, like this, nothing really compared to quite to that shot where they like showed Osaka when he was like coming up on it, and he was like, oh, and you could just tell he was like trying to figure out how to readjust, because it is one thing to like, something about Westerners were like back in the day, we're like, well, even now, if you don't speak a certain language, you don't speak our language, you're instantly savage. We can't possibly fathom that you can build the things that we build. And like seeing the way they show the change in him through the imagery was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Ant, any takes on that?
I think Ronan summed it up like pretty well what I was going to think, what my thoughts were. I think this show did a really good job of showing like the savage brutality of a world in one aspect, and then showing this pristine beauty of another aspect, and how when those things can mix, you can get something like as dangerous as a cliff, or you could be in a palace or in a major city. And I think that the costume designs and everything like that, from the clothes different classes are wearing or different professions are wearing, it makes it feel like you're really there. And I think it did a good job. I think that one of the things that stood out to me is it had been very easy to make Japan just pretty, right? Just pretty, where everybody has a different set of morals. They're not the same, but no, they're doing the same thing that the Europeans are doing if they were there. And you have these ideals and these clashes of will, and they're all playing the same game, just at different levels. I like it.
Yeah. So I think that's a good segue of diving into the lore of this, because they're going really deep. Can't move. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you.
But no, yeah, I totally get what you mean. I mean, there was just so many. Oh, you want to take now that it's working?
No, go ahead. No, go
Yeah,
ahead. No, I'm
Well,
curious what
I was stalling, bro.
Look at that assist. Look at that assist. He was so
ready.
so beat. He was like, yeah. Go ahead. Son.
But
Go
like
ahead,
I don't
baby.
know. I mean, I think Vanessa mentioned this earlier. The transition to seeing one of the main characters, I guess, kind of come to terms where he's at. I think that was definitely my favorite part, because he was thrown off. I mean, obviously he's in an unfamiliar territory, and to see him slowly become aware, or just to come to terms that this is how things are, unfortunately now, and to see him actually gain a little respect for some of these people around him, and although they're doing things extremely different than he's used to, it was just really cool to see him like actually be respectful of what they are and who they are. Because there was a scene where, of course, we see one person about to do something that is pretty, pretty crazy. I don't know, and in the circumstance he's in, it could be considered noble to some. And to see, I'm trying so hard not
He's
to
trying not
spoil
to
it.
spoil it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
get it.
going
You're
crazy
doing,
with this.
you know what?
Well, it's just it was just really cool to see him like, respect it, and just, how he kind of came to terms, and just throughout these couple of episodes we're seeing him adjust to everything, and it's my favorite part of the show so far.
Yeah, have you ever traveled with someone who hasn't left their area or their country or anything like that? And they kind of have certain countries they have an arrogance about them when they go to places like,
Yep.
You don't know shit. You just don't know anything about this. And there's more perspectives and a bigger world out there. And so I like seeing the point of view character, his arrogance get melted away. Like you thought they're the savages, but here you're the savage. You're the and so you gotta play us a different way. And I don't know, I like that.
I also like that, Bitch talked about it, that, we would have these moments of reacting, and it's like people weren't saying nothing. It was just a look, both awe, aspiring, fascination, and yet you could tell what the hell they were thinking. That is a mark of great storytelling, where you have people on camera and yet they're not saying anything, yet they're saying everything to you with their eyes or with The background, all of it. Oh, dude, it's inspiring. Really.
The writing, directing, the acting, it all came together in a lot of different scenes that we've seen, where they let a scene like just play out, just rest. It didn't be filled with cluttered dialogue, or you didn't talk down to. I mean, some scenes I wish they did talk down to me a little bit, like who's who again. But for the most part, they hey, if you gonna figure it out, we trust you. We're gonna tell our story. You sit back and digest, and I don't know. I felt that in some scenes, just the looks and the smiles and
It can be hard to when it's like a language barrier to like tell a story seamlessly. And there's a few scenes like when they were translating from a few different people where it was just really well done, and often it can feel clunky, or you're like at this, or it's like too much exposition. You're like, oh, this just feels like you're talking to the audience, but it never felt like that. And this, like in the first 2 episodes, like it just felt like all the conversations were organic. You could tell when someone was like playing with strategy or planning something or like trying to play the game. And we kept saying it multiple times while we were watching. It felt very Game of Thrones, because it was just like you could see people thinking and planning. It's just smart. It's smart storytelling, and it is smart acting too.
Even the exposition dumps were well done. Like they were organic exposition dumps. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. This character knows this. Carry on.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good segue to talk about our main lead. So Yoshii Toranaga is the lord basically in the 1600s, and essentially this council is kind of rallied against him. We're not going to talk about the plot threads of it, but it's very specific. But now this European ship has kind of come abroad, and that's where you get the main character, John, played by Cosmo Jarvis, who really is just trying to figure out the land. But the progression of how they handle the storytelling aspects of this, and you guys kind of tapped at it a little bit, it's just masterful in my personal opinion, because I didn't know who John was going to be as a character. But to see in less than 2 episodes, to see him progress from a characterization standpoint, but then even deeper than that, from even the 2nd episode, Toranaga as a leader and how calculated he is. I think that the main actor, Hiroyoshi, I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. Hiroyuki is a vet. Like he knows how to carry a scene very well with just his emotion alone. But when he needs to be serious, like he can immediately turn it on and turn it off very well. So it's kind of like, even though there weren't every single scene had action in it, there was never this feeling that it wasn't impending danger. Every small little thing that may happen, from whether it's the main character or like Toranaga as a character, anybody connected to him, nobody felt safe. Like it's not as though the land is malicious, just the politics and everything that's being involved. So I wanted you guys to talk towards the actual narration in this and how they handle the story.
The politics is so good, like because I had to figure it out real quick. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Oh yeah, they align power. We even get a little flashback, kind of explaining how we're in this situation, and why these dudes are kind of like set against our main guy. And he thinks really quickly. He's like, oh, I can sow discord and do this and this and that, with whatever's going on. And I think it's just brilliant, because it's not just him. It's like everyone, every single person, from the priests to the translators to the people in prison to the village people. Everyone is thinking, like literally thinking strategically, because if you don't, you're dead. Like
you're gonna die really quickly.
If you have too much of a heart, too much of a, I'll pray for you. Done. You're done. Like this is not a place. This is not a world for soft, kind-hearted people. This is for people. This is for strategists. Like it's so good, because it does remind me of like the best parts of like, yeah, like you mentioned. Someone mentioned House of Cards. It's like that political game. I think that's the best part. That's the scariest part, because there was one point I was like, this is really tense. I don't like this. I don't like this. I was getting really like anxious, because and people were just, no one was talking. Everyone was just staring at each other, looking at each other. And it was very like, yeah. So it's very tense. I like it a lot.
Some of the best parts of House of Cards and Game of Thrones was actually smart characters doing smart things. And there's a difference between a character doing something smart and magical smartness. Like, oh, I walk into the room and I could tell the barometric pressure was off. No. But characters do and planning stuff. Like when Tyrion went in and was like, oh, I told 3 different people 3 different stories and things like that. So you see that he's like, oh, that's and it's not magical intelligence. It's like intelligent characters setting up political traps or wordplay or how to do something and get away with it and blame somebody, have a good cover story, and that's what I like about what we saw in these first 2 episodes. So yeah, and again, I've said this in other shows before. When you can have 2 characters in a room just talking and you're intrigued or you feel the yeah, this was not that scene was not an intelligent scene, but yeah. So stop trying to trigger me, people. Stop trying to trigger me. But it's a good difference. When they went off the books and they were trying to write, they just killed the intelligent characters and made them do stupid things because they couldn't write for those characters. And so like, and what we're seeing in this show is you have a bunch of different. One, you have a bunch of different types of intelligent characters. Not everybody has the same type of intelligence. Not everybody has the same type of abilities. You have characters that are great in one thing, and that gives them enormous power in these battles between people who speak different languages. And I think that's really cool to see and how they play the cards they're dealt to achieve their goals. See, I'm trying not to spoil, and you just put all right, yeah. But
so
and she plays a great character, and yes.
Mariko. Yeah. I love that. I was just thinking about it, the duality that almost each character has. At some point or other, we see it happen in time or not. How you see Hideyoki Sanada's character almost immediately wants to reject the old ways. She's like, no, I don't want to go down that route, and yet sees the inevitable scenarios that will come forward, and how he's like, all right, I have to win, but I don't want to become what I've been not wanting to become as well. And how you see with John as well, being like, all right, this man, has shown me respect, shown me life and all that stuff. I have to return it, but also how do I stay alive and how do I keep the upper hand with Mariko's scenario about like, I've been used to these folks around me for a while now since I was a kid. And now I'm getting information that not all is as it seems, from the inside to the outside, from the outside to the inside. I love that tug of war between characters, perceptions, and again, the game. We're seeing a chess game being played live in Japan, and yet you don't know who's going to make a move and who's on whose side really. And it's a testament to the moment capturing a shot that tells you something, and yet it's like, is it what you're really seeing or is it something else? And I don't want to spoil it, but there's a moment with Hideyoki Sanada's character that's doing something simple, and yet I'm like, wait a minute, why is he doing that way? And then when you follow it up, it pays off, and I'm like, I knew it. He was doing something that didn't seem too basic and normal, and I just I adore that from these 2 episodes.
Yeah. Busy, any thoughts on the story?
I'm really liking where it's going. I mean, I was a big fan of like the strategic side of things, I guess. There was times where like I thought I had an idea on what they were doing, and then it turns out he was like we had certain characters just playing with other characters in order to kind of like for their agenda, if you will. And it was just it's really cool to see another show kind of do this, because it's kind of how I fell in love with Game of Thrones. And I really like the I kind of like the route they're going. The world building has been insane. I mean, the scale that it seems like they're going for is just, it's nuts. And I'm really, really excited with them mentioning things that are happening on the other side of the world and just everything like that. It's just, it really has my attention, and it's been really, really impressive with what they have done. And the fact that this is a limited series, I'm really interested to see how they're gonna, manage to do everything in this short amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point to kind of get to, because some people are going to be asking this question. I know you guys are going to ask, like, oh man, like this is a limited series, like is it going to be worth my time? I think the thing that Busy said, he was watching it, he was like, are they going to get more seasons? Like immediately. I think because this is so framed so well, it's got a really good foundation. Great characters, great process, and great direction how it's going to go. that it makes you feel like those glory days are like the first few seasons of Game of Thrones. It really does feel like that on so many different levels. So I can understand from business perspective why he was like, I want more. And I feel that way as well. Now, if they direct them anywhere as near as what these first two are, there's no filler in between. They're gonna consistently just hit and hit and hit. Whether or not they move past that, I think just the ride alone is going to be something amazing. And I think that it kind of harpens back to when I think about Watchmen on HBO, which was one season, and that's
Great.
it. And they never wasted any space or time. And so if they give us something clear and concise with good roots, then I think this is going to be something that's going to last. That's what, just for you guys that are kind of worried about, this being a limited series or not. Final thing I wanted to kind of ask you guys, did you guys have a favorite main character and why?
Yeah, the Japanese hot daddy dude.
Crazy.
I'm assuming you're talking to this man.
I'm telling you, we watch
Hiroyuki
these shows.
Sanada, you've been hot your whole life. Bless.
Na-na-na-na,
Yeah, that's one
na-na-na-na.
fine Japanese man. I like his. He's so chill. He's so like his vibe is so like dangerous, and I really enjoy that. I don't know. I like that he's so sure of himself. He's like, I'm 5 steps ahead of all these dudes. I love that. I think he's my favorite. There's just a lot of strong main characters too, because Mariko's great. I really love her too. So she's a close second, but I don't know. I gotta hand it to what is his name? Toranaga.
Yep.
Yeah. He's great. I think he's good, and I hope even if he does die at the end, I don't know. I only watched 2 episodes. I hope he makes it all the way to the very last breath. I hope he wins because I'm really am rooting for him. I don't know why. I just love this character.
She's in love, guys.
I am.
I mean, she said daddy. I mean,
He is. He's so fine. He's so fine.
And you next. Who's your favorite character?
well, I was trying to think of that because these have some strong character actors in this. We've seen them in other things. So like every time a new character actor that we've seen something else came on, I was like, oh, I really like this guy. Let's see what he does.
Put his character up real quick for him. Go ahead.
We know who his favorite is.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go, bro.
Look, I think that I enjoy me a smart woman. That's a linguist that can teach you some things, and I think her acting was on point. I think she added to every scene she was in, and even when she was quiet, she was still in scenes. And that's a hard thing to do. So
agreed.
I'm all for her. I ain't gonna call her mommy or nothing, but I spent some time with her. She's gonna teach me some show.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, we can't interviews on the schedule for that. I'm just saying,
Oh my god,
I loved it.
Ronan.
Fuego.
Japanese people.
I every time I would watch something like The Last Samurai or The Wolverine or even something as big as Avengers Endgame, just seeing Hiroyuki Sanada doing his thing, I feel that he's having a fan base grow, but he should have had the same stardom that most A-list actors in Hollywood should have across the world. This guy is again, and he's not the main. I mean, he's the main character, but we're following John Blackthorn, whatever his name is, through this adventure, and you're seeing this guy, and I admire how he doesn't want to go back to some barbaric ways the way he sees it, and yet he's trying to do best for his side and also the people that surround him. There's a sweet moment, a cool moment that I liked, where he tells somebody who's closer to his age, be like, you should take some intuition from your daughter-in-law in reference to Mariko. And I was like, that is such a cool thing to say, like, hey, just because she's a woman or just because of your old way of thoughts doesn't mean you're ahead of her in this aspect. And I like that he's keeping her in that circle, be like, okay, she's people are seeing her one way or another, and I want her in my side when I'm going against this battle. And Hideyoki's just a badass, and he's worth the price of admission in the movie theaters, and he is just 2 episodes in already, knocking out of the ballpark. And again, not even moving that much. There's a scene, folks, where someone is drawing a map in sand, and our eyes were just glued to the screen, like, what is gonna happen? And just him observing everything. He's just a badass.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Busy. Who's your favorite character and why?
It's close between Toranaga and Lady Miracle. I don't know exactly where I stand, but I do believe that Medico has like a lot of like there's a lot about her that is going to be extremely interesting, considering the conversations that she did have with certain characters, hinting at some dark stuff that apparently she has gone through, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing more of her specifically, for sure.
Okay. Who's my favorite character? I don't know. I mean, I think that they're all amazing characters. I'm intrigued
Blackthorn, because
by.
nobody said him.
I was going to say Blackthorn. His voice just got this villain voice to it, and he's a combination of Jai Courtney and Tom Hardy. Like no clue. Like
Jai
he's
Courtney,
yes.
Yes.
But I feel like his audacity is going to win him over for us. Like, I think he's going to be so
I
like that, you know, where arrogance could be annoying, but also be charming a little bit. Like I feel like
it's
he's
impressive.
to that
It's going to be
part.
impressive.
He's definitely got like charisma. Like he can
All
act.
right.
Like he can absolutely act. Like I don't have any issues with him. I think I'm actually interested in the character on the left right here because
Oh
Yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
recognize that was him.
Tananabu. I don't know his character name, but he's an amazing actor, and he's a wild card.
Kashigi, I think.
Like
right?
he's kind of like the scoundrel of this.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
don't know where his character's gonna go, but
Yes,
it's so
Kashigi.
interesting because I don't know where it's going. I'm so intrigued by his character that I'm gonna put some cards down on him. To be honest, it was
He has some of
something
the
he did
best
the first
scenes.
episode. Like literally, I was like, "What is his motivations here? Like, where is he actually? What is his direction?" So when you have like characters like that get small amount of screen time, but then charm you and connect with you, like you got a good show on your hands. So we're gonna kind of give our closing thoughts of the series and give our letter grades for this new amazing show. Vanessa, what is your final thoughts and letter grade?
Final thoughts is this is good. I think from a perspective of like, I think it doesn't feel like they're just inserting Westerners and Western storyline just because everything feels organic. It feels like a real like a little time capsule in this period of time set in the 1600s. We don't know what's going on, but I think it's fascinating. The acting is super strong. Yeah, am I getting your letter grade? Yeah, I mean A+. Honestly, I didn't have any complaints about it. Like, it was really good.
Dang, A+ on deck. Thanks, Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Busy. What is your letter grade and final thoughts?
The potential is insane. Like I am digging this, dude. I think I'm gonna give it a A-. I know there's gonna be some more crazy moments, so I'm really looking forward to the next few episodes. So we're just gonna have to be patient and see how it works out, man.
Thank you, Busy. Ronan.
I'm gonna give it a solid A with a bullet. 2 episodes in, I already want the Blu-ray. I'm like, I don't care what happens after these 2 episodes. I would own in physical media, have it in my collection and whatnot. It is spot on, and like you said, Sam, that no point was I bored, no filler, nothing. Everything, something simple, something big and pivotal, matched perfectly in an even level.
Okay. Oh man, this is almost a sweep. All right, Ant go last on deck.
D-. I didn't like no.
Like you're a douchebag.
A+. I enjoyed everything about it. I really want to see Blackwell's. Is it Blackthorn? Blackthorn.
Everyone's got a different name for
Blackwell's is crazy.
Blackthorn.
Blackthorns. Dyad with all the different main characters that we think we're going to be different ones, especially him and the wild card you mentioned earlier. I like that like dog bastard thing they were doing. And the respect they bit like so. I'm good with that. So yeah, like A+. I'm here for the ride.
Okay.
That's all. No critiques.
Hey, I just realized the guy that plays Blackthorn, where I remember him from, it was Raised by Wolves. Raised by Wolves was one of the HBO shows that I really actually loved.
Oh, I
It had
like
so much
that. They
potential.
canceled that, right?
Yeah, but I forgot that he was one of the guys that was one of the scientists in the beginning. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think that this was phenomenal from every level, from a story standpoint, acting standpoint. The score was amazing. There's a lot of beautiful moments. I think that they take their time, but at the same time, they waste no time. For me, this is easily an A+ across the board. I think this is an amazing show. But closing thoughts, Ant, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, and because we all like this show, we all agreed to go to Japan and get tattoos together. So stay tuned for that.
No,
I mean, they committed to. I think we have a tape right here. So it's crazy. I don't know why they want to do it, but I'm for it. I'm a team.
I like it wasn't your idea.
Going to Japan is
one
fine.
If you know. Yes, so
no
we get
one
the views.
said
We'll
anything
get
about getting
live
a tattoo.
together. It'll be a team.
No, live. Where do we add live?
I didn't. No, I can't. I literally can't.
They did. Back me up on this, Ronan. You heard them. I heard it.
Ronan said we're going to celebration in Japan. That's it.
Tattoos celebration. Japan.
You brought up the tattoo.
I am sure I've heard all these things back to back. The people want it. Sam. The people want it.
No, Vanessa was talking about like how
Vanessa said it. Yes, that's what I said.
No, I see.
No.
If this video hits 1 million views, I will get tatted with you.
50,000 views is what he said.
Nah, I said 1 million, bro. I ain't switching up. I ain't switching up.
But we're going with yen. So 50 million yen. How does it translate to?
Oh my god!
You see how Ant is a gaslighter? You see?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, guys, when I get them in Nosaki, y'all see what they come back with.
Oh my god!
Don't invite me on no trips.
Anyway, this was a great review. Thank you guys so much for coming. First on deck to plug. Where can everybody find your content, Vanessa?
Me, always. At Vanessa Shark on Twitter, Instagram. I have a website, vanessashark.com. I also write for multiversalcolor.com.
Cool.
Good job, Vanessa. Busy, where can everybody find your content?
You can find me Busy Braun everywhere. We're about to hit 30K on YouTube and 100K on TikTok.
Nice.
And you can follow me at Busy Reactions on Instagram. And we got we recorded a lot of shit today, so we got a lot of stuff coming out, man. We're gonna be busy, but it's gonna be fun.
Man, Busy
Wow.
and we have been like recording a heck of a lot. Like guns, knives, anime, all the things.
What?
Yeah,
it's powered by G Fuel. You can't stop. Just go keep going.
And y'all made a Manscaped joke earlier, so seriously, use code Busy Braun.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue.
If you want to see any reactions from me again, go to Busy's channel because there's no reaction here. It's over Busy Braun. Go check out his channel. Ronan, what's going on, man?
You can follow me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube, on Twitter, Threads. I'm glad I came up with that Ronan username. I like that. I'm proud of myself.
I'm glad.
I came up with it.
Covering Last of Us stuff, Star Wars, Invincible, and you know what? I think I might have to add this show to the list of stuff of coverage.
Yeah.
You forgot you're a Walking Dead and an Avatar. Oh, sorry. Let me shut up. Might be second too quickly.
Coming soon.
Well, at this point,
spoiler alert. Last but not least, Ant goes.
You can find me here.
Part-timer.
No.
Getting a tattoo.
Wow.
No, probably here at JVS. I would support the fam. Thanks for inviting me. I love talking with all these people. And yeah, don't wait. JVS After Dark, Japan. Drinks.
Oh my God.
And remember, he said, if we get 100
God.
likes on this video, he'll get TeamJVS tattooed on his forehead.
100 likes.
So make sure we get that, guys. He said it. Guys, you remember him saying that, right? I think it's our turn to gaslight him.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
The YouTube live forever.
And just to thank you guys, some of these people are going to be doing cons together. So you got a lot more interesting content coming very soon.
Oh, wait. We get a con together? What we doing? Oh, snap. We're going to disappear for 3 days.
Oh, no. Ban Ant from all future group activities.
We're gonna go, everybody.
I planned all the itinerary. Let's go.
Subscribe, hit the bell
Right, I bet a
button,
strip club.
go down the description bar below, follow all these amazing people, and we'll be back next time. Maybe we might do episode 3 together. Who knows? Peace,
We'll
guys.
add 6 more.
Falling off the top of